evidence, conflicting evidence, and of evidence relate through flawed perceptual, retentive, and narrative abilities of witnesses. A jury is forced to draw inferences in its attempt to ascertain the truth. Now, it's a long sentence. You see how heavy the writing style is, and most of you would feel, "Oh my God, what's going on?" But then there is no need to worry. You can always simplify it. How do you simplify? Look at this. Faced with certain problems, correct? And what is that problem? Insufficient evidence, conflicting evidence. And if you don't understand this part of the problem, it's all right. I mean, they are having problems. Problem one, problem two, this is the third problem. But then these are problems. So if you don't understand the meaning of the third problem, there is no need to worry about it. This is what we call as good reading. I mean, you might go through the paragraph again, but while you're taking the RC, there is no need to worry about it. So a good student would say, faced with the problems of insufficient evidence, conflicting evidence, a jury is forced to draw inferences in its attempt to ascertain the truth. So jury is the one who is passing judgment. You must know this meaning now. You don't tell me that you don't know the meaning of the word uh, jury, right? Jury is the one who passes judgment in court, correct? So the jury is forced to draw inferences in its attempt to ascertain the truth. And what problem do they face? Insufficient evidence, conflicting evidence, and some more few problems. So the first sentence is very clear. This is paragraph one, and this is the first sentence of paragraph one. So the jury is facing problem with respect to evidence. By applying the same cognitive tools they have developed and used over lifetime, jurors engage in the inferential exercise that lawyers call fact finding. Understand now. Now there is no need for you to worry about this sentence. They are using cognitive tools. Now you know the meaning of the word cognitive tools. What is cognitive tools? What is cognitive? Cognitive basically means concerned with intelligence and understanding. So the jurors have been using certain tools. They have been using it over a lifetime. Correct. And these jurors engage in the inferential exercise that lawyers call fact finding. Now you have to just understand this in context. What does the jury do in a courtroom? They don't know the fact, but what they do is they come across certain evidence, and they use that evidence to infer the facts. This is what you do in the RC. So this is what the jurors do in the courtroom. They are engaging in inferential exercises. The evidence is presented to them, and on the basis of that evidence, they arrive at certain facts or truth which must have happened, but they're not aware of it. In certain decision making contexts that are relevant to the trial of lawsuits, however, these normally reliable tools may cause jurors to commit inferential errors that distort rather than reveal the truth. If you can't hear, please log out again. So Varshnaya says he can't hear. Take minute. यार ये क्या? So what happens here in the first paragraph? है ना? RC में भी अब first para में क्या दिया हुआ है? The first para talks about jurors and jury and the problem they face. Correct? And because of that problem, they commit inferential errors, the way you commit inferential errors while reading the RCs. है ना? While reading the RC, because you're not trained or your mind is not trained properly, you end up drawing wrong inferences. Same thing happens with the jurors. Because they have been relying on certain tools, these certain tools may not be well developed, and in the process they might commit inferential errors that distort rather than reveal the truth. Correct? So this is what you get from the first paragraph. So it's a very simple first paragraph that we all have understood. Now we have to go and check the second paragraph. So if you ask me that what is the summary of the first paragraph, the summary of the first paragraph is very simple, that because of insufficient evidence and conflicting evidence, the jurors arrive at certain incorrect inferential errors. I mean, they may have inferential errors in their process, correct? Because of this problem. So let's go and check what the next paragraph talks about. Okay. So I will scroll down here. The next para says, although juries can make a variety of inferential errors, most of these mistakes in judgment involve the drawing of unwarranted conclusion from the evidence that is in reality it does not prove. So what is the first problem? What is the first variety of inferential error that they draw? Unwarranted. Unwarranted basically means not required. So what is the first mistake in judgment? They draw unwarranted conclusion, which the evidence correct. Drawing unwarranted conclusion basically means what is unwarranted? Unwanted means not required, unwanted. Okay, so if you want to have a simple replacement for the word it is unwanted. इसका मतलब ये होता है, ठीक है? Guarantee say please don't connect this with the word guarantee, because many people say warranty and guarantee and therefore unwanted means not having guarantee. ऐसा नहीं है. Unwanted means unwanted. For example, evidence that the defendant in a criminal prosecution has a prior conviction may encourage jurors to presume that the defendant's guilt because of their preconception that a person previously convicted of crime must be inclined towards repeated criminal behavior. So this is just one example of how they might come to the wrong conclusion. And what is the example? That if the person is having a criminal record already, the jurors might wrongly feel that the person must be guilty. Why? Because he's inclined towards repeated criminal behavior. So this is just an example of the kind of error they might make. So you can ignore this for a while, but the example is important because the author is just giving an example. So in this example, he is just writing something. So you can take this as an example and you can, yes, preconceived notion. So the juror has preconceived notion, and because of that, he might wrongly arrive at the conclusion that because he has some sort of criminal record, he would be inclined towards repeated criminal behavior. The author says this is not right. This may not always be the case. That commonly held belief is at least a partial distortion of reality. Not all former convicts engage in a repeated criminal behavior. This is what the author says. So the author is highlighting one of the inferential mistakes that the juries are likely to make, correct? And he is highlighting that mistake in the first, in the second paragraph, right? Further, he says, also, a jury may give more probative weight than objective analysis would allow to what? To vivid photographic evidence depicting a shooting victim's wounds, or may underestimate the weight of defense testimony that is not delivered in a sufficiently forceful or persuasive manner. Now look at this paragraph, this sentence, not paragraph. This is difficult to understand. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Not very easy, right? I mean, it says a jury may give more probative weight than objective analysis would allow to vivid photographic evidence. Complex information, but then rather than reading it 20 times and breaking your head, you must understand that this is also one of the wrong things that the jurors might do. They may underestimate something, they might overestimate something. So this has just the way this has come as an example as to what mistake they might make. This sentence also is one of the example of the mistake that the jurors might make. So there is no need for you to worry about it. Go to the next sentence. Finally, complex or voluminous evidence might be so confusing to a jury that its members would draw totally unwarranted conclusions or even ignore the evidence entirely. So this is the third problem. So the first para talks about conflicting evidence, insufficient evidence might result in inferential errors from the juries, correct? And the second paragraph tells us what kind of errors they might be, correct? The first error is very well explained to us with the help of example. He says that it at times it might happen that a person has criminal record, and that might wrongly make the jury believe that he has criminal tendencies, and there could be a wrong conclusion on part of the jury. And then he says complex voluminous evidence might be so confusing that its members might draw unwarranted conclusion. So these are the mistakes that the jurors might make in the courtroom. And second paragraph, voluminous means, अरे volume क्या होता है? Voluminous का मतलब क्या होता है? High volume. What is volume? Volume, अरे यार भाई voluminous क्या होता है? बहुत, अबे कैट प्रिपेयर करनी है, 50 बुक खरीद के लेके आ गए. Voluminous collection of books. Are you getting my point? So voluminous basically means large quantity. Very good. Now the third paragraph. The third para says, now you're keeping track of everything, you know. Third para says, recent empirical research in cognitive science. What is empirical? Now you must know the meaning of the word empirical. Even if you don't know, don't worry about it while reading the passage in the mocks. Recent empirical research in cognitive psychology suggests that people tend to commit inferential errors like these under certain predictable circumstances. So, not only the jury, but even people tend to make inferential errors under certain predictable circumstances. मतलब बार बार चोरी किया है, बाप चोर है, and the whole family is a thief. So the chances are that he must be a thief. So this is the kind of, inferential error that we might make. By examining the available information, the situation, and the type of decision being made, cognitive psychologists can describe the kinds of inferential errors a person or a group is likely to make. So here the author is introducing cognitive psychology as something which is trying to understand what kind of inferential errors we might make. These patterns of human decision making may provide the courts with a guide to evaluating the effects of evidence on the reliability of the jury's inferential process in certain situations. So, what is going on in third paragraph? The author says that cognitive psychology, or cognitive psychologists can actually provide you a guide to evaluating the effect of evidence. So you are likely to make mistakes. The author says that in the courtroom, because of insufficient evidence, because of incomplete evidence, because of conflicting evidence, the jurors might make some mistakes. Those mistakes are described in the second paragraph. In the third paragraph, the author says that that cognitive psychology can come to your rescue. समझ में आया कि नहीं? Cognitive psychology can come to your rescue. Why rescue? अरे भैया, in the courtroom you are making lots of mistakes. So if in the courtroom you are making lots of mistakes, then what should you do? Let the mistakes happen. Are you getting my point? In the courtroom, if the jurors are making inferential errors, then should we allow them to make errors? There has to be some corrective course of action. Now, here the author shows that recent empirical research shows that that cognitive psychology might come to your rescue. Where do you get to know that? In the last sentence. These patterns of human decision making may provide the courts with a guide to evaluating the effect of. So the guide can be provided by whom? By the cognitive psychologists. Are bhaiya, if a teacher can describe the kinds of mistakes you are making in the mock, then won't the teacher help you in overcoming the mistakes? Similarly, if the cognitive psychologists are describing the kinds of inferential errors a person is likely to make, then can't they help the jurors overcome those mistakes? So don't you think paragraph 3 is talking about how cognitive psychology and cognitive psychologists can help you overcome making inferential errors? Yes or no? Learn to connect people. See, not everything would come as if it is writing a school textbook for you. The author is not writing school textbook for you. He will give certain hints and you have to understand that. Now, next paragraph. So the author has introduced cognitive psychology and psychologists in the third paragraph, telling us that these things can come to our rescue. Why? Because they can describe the kinds of inferential errors we are likely to make. And therefore, by describing those errors, it can teach us how to avoid those errors. है ना? Paragraph 4. The fact that juries can commit inferential errors that jeopardize the accuracy of the fact-finding process is not unknown to the courts. The courts know that, yes, these people can make these kind of errors. In fact, one of a presiding judge's duties is to minimize jury inferential error. Nevertheless, most judges now employ only a limited and primitive concept of jury inferential error. Limited because it fails to recognize the potential for errors outside certain traditional situations. Primitive because it ignores the research. So they are ignoring the research of psychologists. So the author is saying in the third paragraph, that cognitive psychology has a lot to offer and it can help us minimize inferential errors. But what is happening in the courtroom? In the courtroom, the presiding judge पता है कौन होता है? Have you seen Hollywood movies? In the Hollywood movies, the अरे भैया मैं आता हूँ. Cognition means understanding, mental understanding of something. If you are sitting there, just try to type the word cognitive. What is cognitive psychology? Are bhaiya, when you are reading an RC, you understand something, correct? When you watch a movie, you understand something. That is known as cognitive. Cognitive basically means concerning perception and understanding. So even your aptitude test is to a great extent. Okay? So presiding judge kaun hai? The presiding judge, his duty is to minimize inferential error. But what is the author telling us? That these judges, they are actually employing traditional method and they are ignoring the research of psychologists. So can I say that in this paragraph the author is criticizing the presiding judge? The presiding judge is basically have his duty is to minimize jury inferential error. Nevertheless, most judges now employ only a limited and primitive concept. And that's the reason why what happens, that they are ignoring the research and conclusion of psychologists in favor of notions about human cognition held by lawyers. So they are favoring the earlier traditional method rather than focusing on the research done by the psychologists. So the author in the fourth paragraph says that yes, that the presiding judge, his job is to minimize the inferential errors. But what is he doing? He's relying on the traditional methods and situations, and he's ignoring the research and conclusion of psychologists. So if he's ignoring the research and conclusion of psychologists, that means the author is critical of the presiding judge and the judges. This part of the paragraph is enough to tell us that in this para, the author is telling us that the presiding judge in the courtroom is not employing the methods of the cognitive psychologists, which he has described in the third. Sarcastic nahi, critical hai. Don't say sarcastic. Sarcastic basically means a bit of humor. Sarcastic is always personal. ठीक है? Ramiz Raja might criticize the Indian cricketers, but that is not known as sarcasm. Sarcasm basically happens when someone is touching you on a very personal note. So your friend passes sarcastic comments. Why? Because he does not like you much on a personal level. Sarcasm always happens on a personal level. Criticism can be very much objective. So the media might criticize Prime Minister Modi, but they can't be sarcastic. On Twitter, you can be sarcastic. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? Are you getting this point? So can you tell me what is going on in the passage now? Now everyone has read the passage. Can you please tell me what is going on in the passage? One thing is definitely the bone of contention. What is the bone of contention? Inferential errors made by jurors, है ना? Inferential errors made by whom? Made by jurors or jury. Jury is collective now. Jurors are the people who are in the jury. समझ में आया कि नहीं? ये collective है, and the people who are there in the jury are called jurors. Please keep an eye on this. So this is the theme of the passage, right? Can I say this is the topic of the passage? Everyone agrees or disagrees? Yes or no? Please quickly, come on, I want answers. Can I say that inferential errors made by jurors is the theme of the passage? What has the author to say about it? That yes, inferential errors are made by jurors, but cognitive psychologists or cognitive psychology can help us minimize these errors. But in spite of this, the jury or the presiding judge, he does not use this kind of stuff by cognitive psychologists, and therefore he's critical of them towards the end. Yes or no? Everyone agrees with this? So the passage looked very difficult, is it not? It looked very difficult, right? Challenging. But then what we did was we smartly went only to that part of the passage whose meaning we could understand. See, many of you may not know the meaning of the word jeopardize. But ठीक है ना यार, jeopardize का मतलब नहीं आया समझ में, तो ये sentence समझ में नहीं आया ना. So even if you ignore this sentence, you can still understand everything from this sentence. Presiding judge's duties is to minimize jury inferential error through explanation. Jeopardize का मतलब होता है, yes, to worsen. So if you don't understand this sentence, no problem. You understand this sentence. That is what I keep on telling you all the while. That if you don't understand one sentence, the next sentence will definitely you will understand. So the presiding judge's duty is to minimize jury inferential error. Nevertheless, most judges employ only a limited primitive. What is primitive? कोई बताएगा मेरे को primitive का मतलब क्या होता है? Yes, people, tell me what is the meaning of the word primitive. Primitive means old-fashioned. है कि नहीं? By cognitive psychology is a modern thing, but the jury is employing, or judges are employing old-fashioned method. And as a result, the author says it is primitive because it is ignoring the research and conclusions of psychologists. And that's the reason why the author of this paragraph is critical of whom? Critical of the judges. That in spite of knowing all these things, in spite of their duty to minimize the jury inferential error, yes, it wasn't that. This is the way I'm reading it. See, the problem is that when you start noting and observing what you understand, automatically, see, what happens is in every paragraph, you will have a sentence which you won't understand. and you will have a sentence which you will understand. So if you allow this to dominate your memory, see, understand this very important statement. If you allow this to dominate your memory, then you will be more confused. But if you allow this to dominate your memory, then you will be more enlightened. Our job is to become more enlightened. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? See, I am taking this live because if you start doing it on your own, of course you can do it on your own, but we are doing it live because we want to read live. Clear with this, people? So this I understand, this I don't understand. This I understand, some part of it I don't understand. What I understand is more important. What I don't understand, I can just for a while leave it. Clear to all of you, yes or no? Empirical का मतलब क्या होता है, कोई बताएगा मेरे को? What is the meaning of the word empirical? This word came in one of the CAT papers. Empirical. भैया आप लोगों को मैंने कहा कि इंटर्नशिप कर लो. Internship, suppose, look at this example now. Yes, practical, experimental. घर पे बैठ के नहीं किया, ऑनलाइन. ऑनलाइन मैंने क्या किया? ऑनलाइन मैंने इंटर्नशिप किया है हाउ टू प्ले क्रिकेट. वाओ. How to play cricket, and you are doing online internship. I don't know. I don't understand how to play cricket can be done online. But if you go in the nets and you start playing with people and you do net practice, you play the game, then it is an empirical. Empirical basically means practical and experimental rather than theoretical. What is the meaning of empirical? Practical and experimental rather than theoretical. So most of the people, for example, if you want to, you look at this, क्या बोलते हैं ये? Have you seen this exit polls after the elections? Most of you, I think you follow the exit polls after the elections. Do they come to the approximate numbers based on theoretical research, or do they do it empirically? Yes. They do it empirically. Why? Because they go to the polling booth, they talk to people, right? They go to the polling booth, they talk to people, and from that they get to know ki bhai, who is going to win by how many votes and what are the chances of a particular party winning a particular seat. अगर वो बैठ के ऑनलाइन करेंगे तो उसको तो पता ही ऑनलाइन कैन बी ऑल फेक. Are you getting my point? Empirical means what? Ground reality, experimental, practical, not theoretical. Now you will never forget the meaning of the word empirical. It's a very, very important word, very frequently used in science and sociology. Clear to all of you? I hope you felt how to read. This is the way you should read. Do it the way we are doing, and you will become better and better. Clear to all of you? I will share the recording. It's a short session. Yes, 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 we can infer. Yes, definitely we can infer that the author wants the judges to use cognitive psychology research. For what purposes? To minimize the inferential errors that goes on in the courtroom. समझ में आया कि नहीं? This is the main message he's sending across. And if you map the passage, in the first two paragraphs, the author talks about inferential errors and what kind of errors they are. In the next third paragraph, he talks about cognitive psychology. And in the last para, he says that cognitive psychology can be of great help, but the judges are not using it. So see how the story can be so sweet and simple. But while writing, the writers use very complicated language. But that is how things are. You must know how to tone of the author, optimistic in the first half and critical in the second half, not skeptical entirely. The judges are skeptical. The author is critical. Are you getting my point? The author is optimistic in the first paragraph, first two paragraphs, optimistic and explanatory. Towards the end, he becomes critical. The judges who are there in the courtroom not using the cognitive psychology results are skeptical. समझ में आएगा? So please don't confuse the author's tone with the attitude of the judges. Optimistic in the sense that he feels that cognitive psychology can be of great help. He's looking at cognitive psychology in a very positive way. He's not saying bakwas hai cognitive psychology. He's very positive about it, that yes, it can indeed help us minimize inferential errors. So the author's attitude towards cognitive psychology is optimistic, whereas the judge's attitude towards cognitive psychology is not skeptical, basically, but negative word you can pick. Okay, everyone understands this now? चलो भाई मजा आ गया है ना. That's it है ना. Half an hour of good interaction, right people? Skeptical basically is not willing to believe. Skeptical का मतलब क्या होता है? Not willing to believe. समझ में आया कि नहीं? हाँ, डाउटफुल होता है ना. सस्पिशियस नहीं होता है. Skeptical and suspicion are two different things. When you are skeptical, you are doubting on the basis of reason. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? When you are skeptical, you are doubting on the basis of reason. When you are suspicious, you doubt the intention. है ना? मतलब a wife will suspect her husband, but a scientist will be skeptical of your theories. समझ में आई कि नहीं? So a wife's attitude towards her husband is always that of suspicion. A scientist's attitude towards his क्या बोलते हैं, his fellow scientist is that of skepticism. I hope this clears the doubt. चलो bye, है ना? Understand these words. Thanks everyone. Bye. Good night.